You are listening to the Toxic Mold Podcast with Steve Worsley, the toxic mold expert and your number one source for mold consulting and mitigation in the USA. Let's dive into a brand new episode.
Before we get started on this episode, here's a not-so-short disclaimer. While all attempts have been made to verify the content provided in this podcast, neither the podcaster nor the producers assume any responsibility for errors, omissions, or alternative interpretations of the issues discussed here. All information stated in this podcast is the opinion of Steve Worsley. Steve Worsley is a mold specialist with over 25 years of experience in the construction and mold industry. The Toxic Mold Podcast is for information sharing purposes only. The views expressed are those of the podcaster and his alone. These views should not be taken as expert instruction or commands. While there may be references to medical conditions and symptoms, all podcast episodes are the opinion of Steve Worsley, and any medical questions or concerns shall be addressed with the appropriate licensed medical professional or professionals. As the podcaster refers to different mold types, please be aware that Steve Worsley is not a microbiologist, and questions concerning mold specifics should be answered by the appropriate professional. Steve isn't, nor does he offer any legal advice. For any legal advice, you must speak to a lawyer. The listener is 100% responsible for his or her own actions. You can check out Steve's books on Amazon. Just go to Amazon and search for author Steve Worsley. You can also take Steve's mold education courses, such as Mold 101 and the Mycotoxin Prevention Kit, by going to cnccontractorservices.com. Again, check out his mold education courses at cnccontractorservices.com. Now, let's get to the episode.
Hello, you're listening to the Toxic Mold Podcast with myself, Steve Worsley, and we have my wife, Cassandra. How goes it?
Going well.
Yeah, this new computer, we're having issues with this microphone, so I hope our previous episodes, our listeners can hear us.
Computers are funny. It's like when you want them to do something, they don't do it. And when you don't want them to do something, they do it.
Yeah, this is kind of annoying, but, it is what it is. So for our listeners, we're kind of wrapping up the series, I guess, is what we'll call it, of things you can do in your home to prevent mold. One of the most important, it's probably the most important thing in your home is your heating and air conditioning, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the ability to stay warm when you need to stay warm and the ability to be cool when it's really hot outside, critically important.
So that's what we're going to talk about today. How to prevent toxic mold when you're dealing with HVAC systems. When you hear HVAC systems, what do you think of? Just an air conditioner or?
No, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning is what HVAC stands for. So it's not only how we heat, how we cool, but how does the air circulate and move through the house?
Gotcha. That's exactly what it is. So what if you're a listener that doesn't have an HVAC system?
Well, you've got to find a way to get air moving in and through the house and out of the house.
I would say that they probably already have that better than most of the people that have an HVAC system.
Yeah, they probably have to open the windows in the summers.
Exactly.
And they have a fireplace, which can also be problematic. But there's a lot going on.
Yeah, so I guess for our listeners, they're probably wondering, so what's the best type of heating we can have in our home when it comes to heating our home? What would you say?
For me, it would be an answer that most people don't want to hear. I'd go as close to caveman days as we could. A fireplace with real wood and open windows and fans. For if we want to be as indoor air quality healthy as we can, we'd have to go as close to that olden days as we could.
And
and most people will never do that.
Right. So what would they do, though, in the summertime?
Open windows, the way our great-grandparents did, right? Like open windows, fans. I mean, the problem with HVAC, which is so convenient for all of us now, is that it keeps the same air inside the house recirculating, even though it's nice and cold in the summer.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is if a client were to ask me, so I'm telling our listeners this, what is the best thing to have when it comes to mold prevention? That's what I would tell them. A fireplace, pellet stove, or electric baseboard heat.
Correct. And what was that whole house fan thing we experienced in an Airbnb? I would say that too.
Yeah, so for our listeners, what Cassandra's talking about, I think we were in Colorado, actually, and it was in March. And they had, depending on how you want to word it, I call it an attic fan, but it is a whole house fan. So what they have is this big fan. It looks like from the inside, it reminded me of a swamp cooler. Because I grew up with a swamp cooler. That was the only way we cooled our house.
Yeah.
And I remember I grew up in Utah, so it got pretty hot in the summertime. I remember me and my sister we'd sleep in the hallway right underneath it because that's how hot it would get. But it was similar to that, and there were the instructions that were sitting right there, and it told you what to do. So for our listeners, what you do is you turn you open one of the windows, you just crack a window so you have supply air, and then you turn that fan on, and it circulates all the air. It more or less it sucks all the cold air because it's March from outside through the home.
Absolutely. And it's an old-fashioned way that kept the house really cool.
I think I would say that was they probably started doing that in the 70s or 80s. And for a place like Colorado, Wyoming, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
So for our listeners, but they're like, well, but it doesn't cool every room, right? Well, all you'd have to do is crack a window in every room, and it would be pulling air.
That's true.
But going back to the question, like what's the best thing to have? That's why we say that, because HVAC systems, if you have a mold concern in just one area of the home, it's likely spread throughout the home.
And the mycotoxins are likely spread throughout the home.
Yeah, there's kind of no way around it. And I'm not telling our listeners, oh, you shouldn't have an HVAC system, but that's the way to prevent it.
Absolutely. And it will depend on where you live. If you live in Las Vegas, or you live in Palm Springs, or you live in Miami, well, you know what you're going to go for. You're going to get an HVAC system.
Yeah. Yeah. And so for our listeners, when it comes to the HVAC systems, what can they do if they live in Florida? They can make sure that their ducts are insulated properly. They're probably going to be up in the attic area. There's a company, and I think it's called Aerosil. More or less, they do what's called a blower door test, and they test the HVAC system to make sure there's no leaks in the ductwork.
Okay. Because
think about it, if you have a leak in the ductwork and it's up in the attic, that's going to cause condensation, which then leads to moisture. You're in the attic, so you have insulation, then leads to a mold concern.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
So for our listeners, I don't want to freak everybody out and say, well, you got to get rid of your HVAC system. But we're just telling you, if you're building a new home at barn dominium, what's the best thing to do? That's something you could consider. If you're in Vegas or Florida, you're probably going to have to put it's called a mini split, which for our listeners, the easiest way to explain that is what we have in hotel rooms.
Absolutely.
And could you imagine in a hotel if everybody had to have the same temperature of air?
Yeah, it would not work.
Old people would be freezing.
Yep.
People like us would be sweating because we like to keep it really cold.
Yeah.
But you can either do a mini split or a window unit.
Absolutely.
Those things, they come with their own problems too when it comes to mold.
They do.
Because if you put a mini split in and you never clean it, then it's going to start having mold issues.
Well, and isn't that what it comes down to, even with HVAC, that the maintenance and the inspections are the key?
Exactly. Yeah. And when it comes to an HVAC unit, last week, we didn't know if we'd done the full checklist or not.
Oh, that's right.
That's coming up, I think, next week.
Next week, yep.
Because we tried to do it around daylight savings time. So sometimes I try to do it at I don't know, I always feel like I'm doing it different. But my point is, for our listeners, every fall, we're here, have either an HVAC company or usually it's your gas company, have them come out and just inspect or do a tune-up of your furnace.
Absolutely. And I mean, even if you're dealing with an HVAC system and you're like, well, I don't know if there's mold in there or if it's creating problems with mold, it's still important to do routine maintenance. Yeah,
and we talk about this quite often. The most common problem we see is either mold in the ductwork, which typically your ductwork is not going to be cellulose materials. It should be metal, or like flex duct, it's plastic. But what happens is if you don't get them cleaned, then you have a bunch of dust and debris in there. That starts to grow mold. But it still has to have a moisture source. So the other problem we usually see is below the coil.
Okay.
Which, when you have air conditioning, you have a condensing unit outside. So that's the compressor. I don't know what it's called. You have that outside. Then you have freon or coolant lines that go to the coil itself, which is above the air handler, and that's what cools the air. Well, as that's cooling the air, obviously it's causing condensation, and so on your air handler, you have what's called a condensate line.
Correct.
One of the most common problems we see is a plugged condensate line, which leads to water backing up in that pan. Where the coil is, there's usually pieces of insulation, and mold starts growing there.
Absolutely.
I mean, they're very convenient, but they're very problematic.
Yeah. No,
and it takes, you've got to maintain them.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
I always compare it to like cars. You can't just buy a brand new car and just drive it. You've got to change the oil. You got to flush the transmission. You've got to put new tires on. There's a lot more to it.
So what are the specific things that listeners can do to prevent mold due to HVAC stuff?
So we kind of talked about in the fall, every fall I would recommend having your gas company come in and do a tune-up or an inspection.
Okay.
Then you should get your ducts cleaned every other year.
Okay.
We talked about duct cleaning, I think it's a couple months ago, but it's very important with duct cleaning that that's done properly on a negative air or vacuum system.
And if somebody has a fireplace, the chimney should be cleaned, correct?
Yeah, for fireplaces, every fall.
Okay, every fall.
Yep.
Okay.
It's called creosote. Homes with fireplaces, the creosote builds up in the chimney flue.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like a black tarry substance, highly flammable.
Wow.
And if it catches on fire, that's most common house fire.
Wow.
And having a chimney sweep is what it is, isn't that expensive. But even if it was really expensive, it's worth it because you don't want your house to catch on fire.
Absolutely. So what's your call to action for people?
Change. So we talked about HVAC systems. This wouldn't apply for a fireplace. Make sure you change out your HVAC filters every 3 months.
Okay.
If you're changing them at those 3-month intervals and they're really, really dirty, kick it down to 10 weeks.
Okay.
So instead of 12, go to 10. Make sure it has a MERV, which is MERV rating of at least 11.
All right.
Clear as mud?
Clear as mud.
All right. Well, we appreciate all you listeners. Have a great week.
Thank you for listening to this episode. If mold in your home has you up at night, wondering if your house is making you sick, it is time for a plan. With a mold consult, in other words, the mold environment assessment and evaluation plan from CNC Contractor Services, you will get a 90-minute strategy call with Steve Worsley, who will review your home environment, answer your toughest questions, and create personalized mold recommendations and next steps just for you. Don't let mold concerns take over. Take control. Visit cnccontractorservices.com to schedule your mold consult today so you can breathe easier in your home tomorrow.